Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Appreciate you hanging out with us here. Love you hang out tonight with me at Court at the Table. Sports trivia at 8 o'clock. LSU baseball fires up at 6:30. I'm about to talk LSU and Creighton here very, very shortly. But if you are not headed out to the box and want to come have some fun, come do it with us. We'll be there from 8 to about 9:15 doing sports trivia. They have the LSU baseball game on the televisions there. You can watch, have some great food, great drinks, and win some gift cards. Always a great time. So I hope to see y'all out at a Court to Table tonight on Burbank for 8 o'clock sports trivia. You know, Creighton has been so welcoming to LSU over the years. LSU has been able to use Creighton's facility to hoist national championships in 2 of the last 3 years. Of course, Creighton plays its home baseball games at Charles Schwab Field in downtown Omaha, side of the College World Series. And it's not coincidence that the Omaha Mavericks came to LSU and played a weekend series last year, because LSU offered them the opportunity to do that because Omaha let LSU practice on their field. I don't know if this was one of those type situations with Creighton or not. It's a little bit ironic, if not, that LSU has had the 2 Omaha schools down to the box in back-to-back seasons. But it's just a cool deal. It's just a little bit of a coincidence, and certainly a place that LSU's got some great memories. I was thinking, I have seen 6 games at Swayze Field in Oxford. I've seen 3 at Dudy Noble. I've seen 3 at Bluebell Park in Texas A&M. And I think that's about it as far as multiple times. I went to Louisiana Lafayette now twice. So Creighton's home ballpark is where I've seen the most college baseball games outside of the box. I've seen LSU play a lot of games there. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've seen LSU play 10 games in Charles Schwab Field. So they'll be here tonight. The Blue Jays are 5-7 on the season, and really not part of the story for me this evening with LSU's baseball team. It's LSU. And I just think it is vital for the Tigers to get off to a good start tonight. I mentioned this when Glenn was on about 30 minutes ago. In the 4 losses to Northeastern, UL Lafayette, and Sacramento State last week, 4 losses, you were outscored 16-0 in the first 3 innings. Now, one of those was 10-0 against Northeastern, so in the other 3 games, it was only 6-0. But still, you're not scoring in the first 3 innings. In these losses, you're immediately getting behind the 8 ball. And I know, to quote Paul Maneri, these guys aren't robots, okay? They're people. And I know that they are showing up to the ballpark today with a full understanding that they're not playing well as a team, that most of the hitters that are showing up to the ballpark today aren't hitting well as individuals, that they've lost 4 of 5, and that this is not the standard that they showed up to be playing at. So when you bring that to the ballpark, and then you're immediately behind 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 6-0, whatever, you're just putting more pressure on yourself. So whoever the starter is, if it's Zach Cowan, if it's Reagan Ricken, like whoever they put out there tonight to start the game, you got to go get 3 outs. Get in the dugout. And then Curiel, Brown, Milam, York, these guys that are ultimately at the top of the lineup, you got to go get some runs. Get off to a decent start. LSU is 9-1 when they score first. But when you get off to these awful starts early in games, you're just adding fuel to this negative fire that's burning within the program right now. So they've got to get off to a good start tonight. Now, I want to mention this because it's not something we've talked a lot about in the last 24 hours. We talked about it a lot last week, especially on Thursday and Friday, not yesterday. And I didn't write about it all weekend. The defense has been a little bit better in the last 3 games. You only committed 1 error over the weekend, and it was a costly one. Cade Arambidi dropped a 3rd strike and then threw into the baseline with Schmidt on the mound, and it crashed into the runner's helmet, and York's glove went flying, the ball went into right field, and a run scored. That was your only error of the weekend. Now, 3 pitches before that, Mason Braun didn't make a play in left field. And there are wild pitches, and there are pass balls. So I'm not excusing everything. But you're also making some really good plays. Like Curiel made a great play running in from center field. It was awesome. I thought Stephen Milam's defense at shortstop was exceptional. I think the defense is going to be better than it was over a small period of time there in that bad losing streak. And I told you that after it happened. I'm not concerned with pitchers throwing pickoff throws away. That's not necessarily something that's going to carry over day to day with the team. If your shortstop can't field a ground ball, that's a problem. If your third baseman can't field a ground ball, that's a problem. If your catcher can't keep the ball in front of him, that's a problem. If you don't run well at all in the outfield, it's a problem. Like, and LSU doesn't have a lot of those questions. I need Cade Arambidi to play better at catcher. But the defense looks a little bit better. And I would like that to continue in this game against Creighton. It's a small thing, but put a 0 up in the error column. Make the routine plays. Make a special one from time to time. Keep the ball in front of you. Don't throw it all over the place. And you know what I would say? You can't do this game in and game out because guys will start stealing on you. If I'm Nate Yeske and Jay Johnson, I am telling my pitchers, we are not throwing pickoff throws tonight, okay? We're not throwing them. We're not throwing balls down into the right field bullpen. We're not firing balls into center field. We are done for tonight throwing pickoff throws. You can't do that consistently because teams will pick up on the fact that you never throw over. They'll get bigger leads and they'll run. I got it. But I'm sick of LSU giving away bases in a stretch where they're not playing well because you're throwing the ball away on a pickoff throw. Like Gavin Guidry in the first inning against ULL does not need to be backpicking to second base. Cooper Williams shouldn't ever throw a pickoff throw to first base away. He's left-handed. He's looking right at him. He's a pitcher. He gets literally paid to throw the ball where he's trying to throw it. But just do away with it. No pickoff throws tonight. No free bases like that. What I would say. And then somebody's got to hit. I don't know who Creighton's going to start. I don't know who LSU's going to put out there. Might be Mason Braun. Might be Daniel Harden. Might be Zach Ruckert. Might be Braden Simpson. I don't know who they're going to play. They're playing a bevy of guys. They're moving people around. They're trying to catch lightning in a bottle somewhere, trying to find somebody to hit. I don't know who's going to play. But get on base, draw some walks, and impact the baseball. Hit it hard. They did in the first couple of innings on Sunday. And I told you to get off to a good start, and you can't help it if Stephen Milam is going to hit a rocket to the wall and the right fielder is going to dive and catch it. You can't help it if balls are being caught up against the 360-foot fence. But you're not doing enough of that consistently enough, so you got to hit. That's not exactly breaking news. I'm not giving you in-depth analytics on that. You just got to hit more. If you want to know anything about Creighton, their best player to this point has been Ben North. He leads them in batting average, triples, home runs, slugging, and on-base percentage. He's second on the team in steals. Hit a couple of homers at Charles Schwab Field over the weekend against Gonzaga. He is a graduate student. He's a shortstop. He hits second, third, fourth, all over the place. He's their best player. Got to pay attention to him. But this is about LSU playing LSU baseball. And they haven't. And I'm willing to look a little bit foolish if we look up in 4 or 5 weeks and LSU hasn't gotten this right, because I do think that they will play better. I think they will defend better. I think they will hit significantly better. I think the starting pitching's been okay. I'm not at a panic situation right now with LSU. Go out and lose tonight, it'll get worse, but I'm not at a panic spot. The truth of the matter is that if you win 3 of the next 4 baseball games in any way that you do it, you'll feel fine. Even if you lose tonight, if you go sweep Vanderbilt, it'll be fine. If you win tonight and win 2 out of 3 at Vanderbilt, you're fine. They just need to play a little bit better. And I think they will. I'm not pumping sunshine there. I'm not trying to to make the fan base feel better. They're playing poorly across the board in a lot of aspects. But I'm not ready to give up on the talent level and some of the things that I've seen, quite frankly. I think the starting pitching is going to be good. I think there are some guys you can use out of the bullpen. And I think they're going to be okay, but it needs to start because you dig this hole, it becomes increasingly difficult to get out of. Your hole's not very deep right now. It looks bad, but it's 2 weeks of non-conference baseball. Feels bad. It's 2 weeks of non-conference baseball. It's not that bad. You've got to go win 3 of the next 4. It would behoove them to start tonight with Creighton. So we'll see. Not sure how they're going to line it up on defense or on the mound, but it's your only midweek game this week. You do have Wednesday and Thursday off this week, so you can use some guys on the mound. And you got to go win the game. LSU and Creighton tonight at 6:30. You can listen to it on Eagle 98.1 pregame at 6. Step aside. Come back with some Saints talk next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. I got to drink some water, and then I'll tell you about Swing Easy. Wasn't going to be able to survive that one. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. They got water there and cold beer and seltzers and golf. It's a lot of fun. It's a great place to hang out over there on Skenes at Perkins. You want to play with your friends? You can play 18 holes of golf. You want to work on your game? You can do that as well. You can put it on the driving range session. You can see the trajectory of your ball. You can see the ball speed. You can see the carry distance on your driver, on your wedges. You can see where your golf club impacts the ball in a slow motion. Great technology and really beneficial to trying to work on your game. And you can do it in a controlled environment where you're not out on the range that doesn't have any grass on it, or the golf balls are all scuffed up, or it's wet out there because it rained a bajillion over the weekend. Control those elements at Swing Easy Golf Club on Skenes at Perkins. They're online at swingeasygcbr.com. It's Swing Easy Golf Club, Skenes at Perkins, swingeasygcbr.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Multi-platinum Grammy-winning superstar Zach Bryan is coming to Tiger Stadium Saturday, March 28th for the Death Valley Live Stadium Series. And 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is hooking you up with free tickets. Register now at 1045ESPN.com for your chance to win.
So, NFL free agency was just fast and furious yesterday. Just deals happening by the second. I was refreshing Twitter as fast as I possibly could, and you felt like you couldn't even keep up. But those are the ones that had been kind of negotiated pretty quickly in the legal tampering period. And now it feels like there are some folks that are taking their time a little bit. There are some teams that are have addressed maybe a major need and are looking for some ancillary things. And that may be where the Saints are right now. You had to get a guard. So, bam, they go straight to the front of the line, get the best guard on the board. And then you feel like, okay, what else do we need to do here? Feel like we need to bolster the running back room. You go get a proven running back. And then you add your tight end room with Noah Fant. And so now what's left? Ross Jackson's got a really good piece up at LouisianaSports.net, what the Saints may do elsewhere in this free agent period. And keep in mind, this is a little bit of uncharted waters is incorrect because the Saints have certainly signed free agents before. But they usually aren't this aggressive. They usually have to stand at the back of the line, wait for the market to get set, wait for everybody to go through, and then go get the C-tier players. This has not been that. You are able at this point, because you've got some flexibility with the cap, to continue to spend with some fairly high-end free agents. And so what positions might you be willing to do that? Well, edge rusher is the first one that comes to just about everyone's mind. Edge rushers are hard to come by. The good ones make a lot of money, and they don't often change teams. And so you're looking at a handful of players, and it's probably, based on the discussions that we've seen, kind of headlined by Caleb Von Chason, former LSU Tiger. He had a really good year this past year in New England. He had spent his first 4 years in Jacksonville and then had gone to the Raiders and then finally got picked up by Mike Vrabel and the Patriots. He played in 16 games. He started 10 of them. He finished the season with 7.5 sacks. He made 10 tackles for loss. He hit the quarterback 18 times. And I was looking at his PFF grades, and the grades aren't great from a numbers perspective, but there is a lot of production. He was credited with 44 hurries by PFF, 18 hits on the quarterback, as I mentioned. PFF gives him credit for parts of 12 sacks. You saw 7.5 as official number. Those all look like really impactful numbers. Now, the grades aren't awesome. It's 59 overall. It's a 43.8 against the run. It's a 26.8 in terms of tackling. And then in pass rush, his best number is 61.9. But that might be a guy you can bring in, depending on the price. You feel like you've got Chase Young there. You've got Carl Granderson there. This is an extra piece in the event that Cam Jordan is not back. He's not significantly past his prime here. You're talking about a 26-year-old player that should be in his prime. He will be at his age 27 season next year. And I think that makes a lot of sense. You're not asking K'Lavon Chaisson with your current roster composition to come in and be an all-pro. You're not counting him to come in and be your sack leader. You're saying come in and be our third edge player. Add a veteran presence, add depth, and then perhaps you'll play some more on third downs, and that's where we need you. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I would be for an addition of K'Lavon Chaisson. Now let's look at linebacker, because with Demario Davis moving on, this becomes a very interesting conversation for New Orleans. Danny Stutzman is the first name to come to mind. They took him in the middle rounds last year. They liked what they saw in camp. They got him more playing time as the season went on. Do you think he's ready to be the replacement for Demario Davis? That is a mouthful. We know the impact Demario Davis has had on this defense for 7-8 years. And now he's gone. Are you going to count on a second-year player to fill those shoes entirely? Maybe. There was a lot of talk that Jacksonville's Devin Lloyd was on the Saints list. Ross Jackson tells us that that's somebody the Saints absolutely targeted. Carolina made that push and grabbed him. So do you go to an old friend, Caden Ellis, who moved on to Atlanta, has been a very productive player, knows the facility. The staff's not there anymore, but it's a guy that knows what he would be getting into if you could get him to come to New Orleans. And I would be for that too. I think Caden Ellis is a very good player. Then do you go Stunning Styles in the draft? Is that the area you're going to shop in with your first pick? I don't know. But they've got to do something at linebacker. You're now thin at corner. You got Kool-Aid. You got Quincy Riley. That means you don't have a number one corner. And that's a bit of a hole on this roster. Not that Alontae Taylor was a number one corner, but he was a veteran corner who played your star role and was a productive piece to your team. So you got to figure out what you're going to do there. Is that Caleb Downs in the draft? Or is that a situation where you think you can address that in free agency? You're not going to get a number one corner in free agency. That's unlikely. Now, you could draft Mansour Delane at 8 and hope he's your number one corner. That would move McKinstry and Riley around potentially, shuffle the deck that way. Or you can draft Caleb Downs, as I said, or you can try to shop somewhere else in free agency. But you got to get a corner. You're not good enough at corner right now. You're not nearly deep enough at corner right now. I like Quincy Riley. I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is a nice player. I don't know if he's quite been what Saints thought he would be when they drafted him. But you got holes there, needs there at corner. And then wide receiver is the last one. And there are a lot of options at wide receiver. Like Juwan Jennings from the 49ers is an option. The Steelers' Calvin Austin could be an option. And one of the things that Ross Jackson mentions on LouisianaSports.net, the Jaguars appear a little bit interested in potentially moving on from Brian Thomas. Huge rookie year, not as good second year. I'm not opposed to that. Brian Thomas is a talented dude. He's got good size, home run hitting ability. He's a different player than Chris Olave. He's a different player than Devon Vele. He's certainly a different player than Mason Tipton. And I don't know enough about Jalen Polk. They may have some similarities there. But in any event, he's big, he's tall, he's fast, he's been productive. He had a tough year last year, no doubt. He had a monster freshman year, rookie year. And if you can get him for a reasonable price on a rookie deal for not a lot of assets going back the other way, because the Jaguars are just like, we don't really like what we're seeing here. I could see that being a value play that adds a lot of talent, because you can only address one of these spots at the 8th pick. And let's be honest, once you get beyond your first-round pick, the hit rate drops. Now, you got to have confidence that you can do it, and you can hit on a second-round pick and hit on a third-round pick and hit on a fourth-round pick. But that first-round pick is a better bet, and you can only address one of these needs there. So you have to determine what the most likely option is there at 8. That doesn't take a lot of math. I think it stands to reason the Saints lacked confidence Jeremiah Love would be there at 8, and that's why they went and got Etienne, and maybe overpaid for him, quite frankly. But somebody's going to be there at 8. Styles, Downs, Delane, Jordan Tyson. Somebody's going to be there, but you can only address one of the needs. So you've got to go and figure some other things out in free agency and, in Thomas's case, via trade. The last thing, and I think it's way down on the priority list, something that's generally pretty easy to get pulled off, veteran quarterback. You've got your starter, you've got your backup. They're both on the cheap. Veteran guy to come in and help nurture them along a little bit, I think, is a good idea. It's not something that I'm just beating down the door to get accomplished quickly. That's down the priority list. But up the priority list, wide receiver, corner, linebacker, edge rusher, got to do some things there if you believe you've got a team that's good enough to go win the division. And I think based on the moves you're seeing the Saints make, they probably think they do. I think they think their offense right now is very, very good. And I think they trust Brandon Staley to continue to put that defense in a positive spot like he did down the stretch last year. But that doesn't mean there aren't holes in the roster. You got to fix them. And they did a great job on day one of free agency. Now it's time to continue to mine, continue to try to find some guys who maybe value plays and make it work. I like a lot of these options that Ross has laid out in this piece, and hopefully the Saints are able to coax one or two of them to come down to the Big Easy. Jordan, what you think?
I think, we're talking about free agency, and yesterday was just an unprecedented day because, we was actually shopping on day one of free agency. So I'm still riding that high. At this point, Mickey Loomis can sign anybody. I'm like, it might work out. So the draft is where all my attention is. Like this 8th pick, I'm actually losing sleep over it because I feel like the closer we get in knowing the history of Mickey Loomis, like it's going to be one of these Ohio State guys. Like it just has to be. And I'm really looking at Downs and Sonny Styles at this point. The receiver thing, Tyson or Lemon, I see all this, but this draft is so loaded at receiver that I'm completely away from that. As long as we address the need, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be that 8th pick.
The draft is the most important and efficient way to make this thing work.
Easily.
You're not going to sign very many DeMario Davises that you go into the free agency pool, grab him, and you get an all-pro. It's just like that doesn't happen very much. It can. It doesn't happen very much. You're more likely to get your stars, plug your gaps with draft picks that high. Yep. And so that's got to be, as you mentioned, a priority once you fill with some solid veterans, and they've done that. So I like the way that this thing is shaping up. I still think the Saints are probably a year away, but they've certainly gotten closer over the course of the last 24 hours, and they could do more than that over the course of the next 4 weeks. So we'll see. That's a look at the New Orleans Saints. Come back. Got 30 minutes to go. Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Looking for more closet space? David Duvall and his team can do it. They can do it 2 different ways. One, you build a new closet. They're a licensed contractor, licensed, bonded, insured. They can build out a brand new closet for you. That's something you're interested in. have a conversation with David. They can also take your current closet space and just use it more efficiently. If you're just crammed for space in your closet, just don't have the room. Well, maybe it's a situation where you can put in some cubbies, put in some doors, put in some secret compartments, as it were, pull downs and whatnot. And David can make that space bigger, make it more comfortable, make it more functional. And it'll be customized to your exact specifications. You sit down with David, you go through a questionnaire. What do you have? What are you looking for? And then David customizes the solution for you. Look at the website, onebathandclosets.com. You'll see pictures of his fantastic work. It's functional and customized. It's also beautiful. Learn it right the first time and leave the competition behind at One Bath and Closets. Find them online and get that free consultation. onebathandclosets.com.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Hope to see you out at Sports Trivia tonight at Court to Table, 8 o'clock. We'll start things up. You're watching the LSU baseball game. Playing some Sports Trivia, you can win gift cards, get something cold to drink, something awesome to eat. The food at Court to Table is great. So come on out and see us at 8 o'clock. Grab a team. Come by yourself. It's always a fun time. Come see us, Court to Table at 8 o'clock for Sports Trivia. You know, I was kind of struck last night, and I don't know why last night did it. Honestly, this is an evergreen topic that I could talk about like for 8 months out of the year whenever I wanted to. But it struck me last night, maybe because of the stage. I'm not really sure. But ultimately, when this thing is all said and done, I think there's a really good chance that we're going to look back at the spring of 2023 and go, one of the best ever was here. It's Paul Skenes. And last night, World Baseball Classic in Houston, huge crowd at what I still call the Juice Box. Huge influx of Mexico fans. A lot of United States fans, obviously, as well. You're sharing that stage with Bobby Witt Jr. and Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge and Kyle Schwarber and Bregman and Cal Raleigh. And it's a scene in Houston yesterday. And Paul Skenes treated the Mexican team like a Little League team. And I honestly don't know how the team that's representing Mexico in the World Baseball Classic compares to the lineup for the Twins or the Braves. I don't really know. It's hard to tell. I think it's probably a notch below, but if you told me it was about the same, I wouldn't think that was crazy. But he goes 4 innings. They got 1 hit. Didn't score, obviously. 7 strikeouts. I mean, he only got 12 outs, and he's just throwing heaters, throwing the splinker, breaking balls. He throws whatever he wants. He throws at 101, and I'm not sure what's going to derail this train. He's 6'6". His legs are tree trunks. He throws 7 pitches, commands them all, throws 102. This guy is the best pitcher in the world and could be for a little bit. And we've had great baseball success here in Baton Rouge over the years, over the decades. And Ben McDonald was the first pick in the draft. And Joey Bell played here and became all-world in the 90s. And there have been really good careers. DJ LeMahieu won a couple batting titles. Bregman's had a heck of a go at it. You had Chad OJ and Mike Sorotka. Aaron Nola's been very, very good. There have been good players here. But nobody like this. And I still marvel that it came out of nowhere to me, because I've now like 3 different times gone back and watched his last outing at Air Force. They were the 4 seed in the Austin Regional. Texas hosted. And now consider what we know. Consider what we know. When LSU plays a 4 seed, your fear level is 0. I've seen ULM come in here. I've seen Southern come in here. I've seen Jackson State come in here. I've seen Utah Valley come in here. I've seen lots of 4 seeds. And I guess the fear, which they experienced with Ben Sheets in the 90s, was like you get a first-round pick at one of these lower seeds that comes in. Texas didn't get a future first-round pick. Texas got this guy. One of the best pitchers maybe ever. Like, I don't even think that's hyperbole. I don't think I'm stretching the imagination here. I don't think I'm being a homer. I don't think I'm being a prisoner of the moment. I think Paul Skenes could be one of the most dominant pitchers ever. His first 2 seasons in the big leagues demonstrate that. He's setting franchise records. He's setting league-wide records. He started the All-Star game a couple times as a first- and second-year player. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic here. And Texas got that guy in the 1-4 game, and they just kind of knocked him all over the place. The highlights are on YouTube. Go look at him. He was throwing like 95, 96, and they just knocked him around. His numbers weren't that good at Air Force. He's big and strong. We knew who he was in the portal. We wanted LSU to get him, but we thought he was a two-way guy. I thought he was going to hit. LSU staff thought he was going to hit in December, entering the year. And then Tommy White got hurt in the first inning, diving back to first base. And Jay Johnson and Wes Johnson looked at each other and went, Skenes can't do that. We can't have Skenes slide back into first base, jam his shoulder, and miss the rest of the year. So he's not hitting. So he's pitching. Now we got this. And again, I'm not exactly sure what struck me yesterday to come up with this, because maybe Team Mexico is worse than the Cubs or the Rangers. It's hard to tell. But they couldn't hit him. Like, they had no chance. And this is early March Skenes on a 65 pitch count limit. I mean, if this was July, he'd have gone 7 shutout on 1 hit with 14 strikeouts. Like, that's what he was doing to non-conference teams a few years ago. Now he does it to the team representing Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. I think we're going to realize that this was the best player to ever come through LSU, the most decorated LSU player in Major League history when it's all said and done. You never know. You hope his career goes something like Strasburg or Verlander, where he's healthy and has durability and longevity and pitches deep into his 30s. That's what you hope. You hope it doesn't Steven Strasburg, because you never know with that position in that sport. But we figured it out with Skenes right about week 3 or 4 of SEC play. I mean, I can still remember Jim Schlossnagle, who was at A&M at the time, saying, I was around for all the stars. I was around for Strasburg. I was around for all those guys, David Price, and this guy's better than all of them. And he said that before he was truly Skenes. And then you got to the College World Series, and he's carving up Tennessee in the first game and holding the rope against Wake in the second game, and got a championship out of it, even though he didn't pitch in the championship series. But I just feel like in 15 years, I'll look back and go, man, got Skenes here. I don't know if I'll ever see it again, but he was a Hall of Famer and considered one of the best right-handed starters ever. I don't think you hear me talk like that a lot. I don't really feel like I'm generally a prisoner of the moment or get swept up in something. I have a hard time containing the words that I say about what Paul Skenes does with a baseball, because there's a lot of really good pitchers that just don't do it like that. They don't throw as hard. They don't throw as many pitches. They don't command as many pitches. I mean, that splinker he's throwing up there at 93 or whatever it is. I mean, who hits that? And then if you think that might be it and he sneaks it by you at 102, again, 4 innings, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts, and a walk. I'm curious where his career takes him because I just don't think it's going to be in Pittsburgh for all that much longer. But then it stands to reason that the Yankees or Dodgers or Giants will come calling, and that's probably where he'll end up. But he's something, y'all. And I'm watching last night, and I just can't help but go, I can't believe this guy was on my campus in that short a time ago, and that now he's the biggest star on the mound in the sport. Crazy. United States won it 5-3 against Mexico. They'll be moving on. I believe they play again tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Tuesday action. They play Italy tonight. Aaron Nola pitched for Italy last night, so that game will be at 8 o'clock on FS1. Japan beat the Czech Republic. Instantly, let me mention that real quick before we go to break here. The Czech Republic, who is playing over in Tokyo, they've got a pitcher on their team who is employed as a full-time electrician. He's literally an electrician that pitches in the World Baseball Classic. And he went out there in this game that was for our time this morning, for them was tonight. And he started the game and went 4 2/3 of shutout baseball against Japan.
No.
He did.
Ohtani was in the lineup?
Ohtani was not in the lineup. They sat him today.
Okay.
They didn't need him. They were 3-0 already, so they sat him. But he got a standing ovation from the Japan crowd because they all knew the story. I mean, this guy he was throwing like nothing up there, just flipping, breaking balls, throwing these slow fastballs. But he's full-time electrician. 4 2/3, 6 hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts.
That's amazing.
And they had to take him out after 67 pitches because you're not allowed to throw any more than 65. You can finish the at-bat, so we got to 67. But that's it.
This dude's one of the greatest athletes to walk this planet.
The Czech Republic, baby.
Yeah, I mean, right off the couch, literally off the couch, man. Wow.
Out from the electrical box in the back, throwing fuses and then throwing fastballs. My guy was putting Japan in a pretzel.
Imagine the stories he's going to have when he comes back to work, man. Man, this guy's a legend. I might get a jersey. This guy's jersey.
Yeah, they had, let's see, was Seiya in the lineup today? No Seiya either. So they sat their 2 best hitters, but still,
regardless of the fact,
Japanese national team that could win this whole thing.
Yes.
It'll be LSU. It'll be USA and Japan in the final. And for him to go 6 shutout or almost 6 shutout is crazy.
Insane.
All right, take time out, come back and finish it up.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power. GoTro's Outdoor Power. I want to remind you, coming up later this month, so not right now, but later on this month, incredible savings over there at GoTro's Outdoor Power. You're going to be able to stop on by and just get phenomenal savings later on this March, and you're not going to want to miss them. It's going to be at their locations on Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, and then, of course, their location in Gonzales as well. An incredible amount of inventory over there at GoTro's Outdoor Power. Check them out at GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTrosOnline.com. My guy Gant Gotro sent me the information for it. It's called the Mower Madness Sale, March 23rd through March 28th. So about 6 days. They got an open house, food, and giveaways on Friday, March the 27th. But everything's going to be on sale that entire week. It'll be the best prices they've got all year long over at GoTro. So they'll have some giveaways. There'll be more information as we ease through the month of March. But keep in mind, Mower Madness, March 23rd through the 28th. If you want the best prices they're going to have all year at GoTro's Outdoor Power, check them out the end of March at the Mower Madness Sale. GoTro's Outdoor Power, Airline Highway, and in Gonzales. GoTrosOnline.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Take a tour at Marucci. Really make the official bat of Major League Baseball. All those guys trying to hit Paul Skenes can't do it. It's not because of the bats, though. Bats are awesome because most of them are made right here in Baton Rouge. They make $1,200 a day here at Marucci, and the world's best put them to the test all Major League season long. And you can go take a tour of where they make those bats and see what that process looks like, as well as hear the history and the story behind Marucci. Step into the heart of game over there at Marucci. Take that tour. You can find a ticket at maruccisports.com/campus-tour. And when you buy that ticket, it comes with a 20% discount in the Campus Tour store and in the Hitter's House. If you got youth baseball player, take them by Marucci. Got a youth softball player, take her by Marucci. Got a team? Want to do a little team building exercise? Go on by Marucci. Take a tour. Check out the Hitter's House. Grab some lumber. Take some swings. It's an awesome spot. Truly a gem here in Baton Rouge. MarucciSports.com/campus-tour for details. That's online at MarucciSports.com. All right, big game for the Bombers last night. Once again, Myers 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored, as is tradition.
Yes.
I felt like they really took a step forward on defense. Really, that was because we put cones out on the field and told them they had to stand by their cone instead of tackling all their teammates.
Well, that progress.
And look, I thought a solid performance, even with the other team as intimidating as they were. The head coach of the other team, Tiger Great, my good buddy Rafe Rhymes, was the head coach of the other squad. And it was a heck of a ball game last night between the other team. Myers called them the bad team. I don't know if that was necessarily the right nomenclature. I think they probably have a team name, but he was going with the bad team.
They're the enemies. They're the bad team. Yeah, they're not us.
And Myers got a lot of action in the first inning as the pitcher.
Whoa.
Not as much action when in center field in the second innings. But heck of a ball game last night. Bombers back on the board. Great effort last night.
So if you had to guess right now, would you think he's going to be an outfield when he grows up or a pitcher?
I doubt he's a pitcher. If he has any of his dad's traits, he will not be a pitcher because his dad did not have a very good arm. So we'll see. He likes to play defense in T-ball, though, because there's a lot of balls that get hit.
Okay.
And when you get to hit, you only get to hit once, and then that's over. So he likes to go. He likes the constant action out there on the T-ball field.
Man, sound like a shortstop to me.
Shout out to the Bombers. Heck of a performance. Really like the discipline. You always hear the greatest improvement comes from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah.
I think you saw that with the Bombers. One thing we got to work on with Myers. He ran in the wrong dugout last night.
Oh, man.
So we had to switch dugouts from game 1 to game 2.
Progress.
And he just ran from third base, ran right past home plate, didn't touch it, went straight into the wrong dugout, and did not seem fazed that there was no teammates in the dugout. He was just in there in an empty dugout, and I just had to scream, like, you probably want to come back over here, which he did. So, we'll work on that. We'll work on dugout management, which dugout to go into.
Yes.
That's one of the fundamentals of the game is knowing which dugout to stand in. We'll have to get that taken care of.
But also, Rome wasn't built overnight. It takes progress, man.
We're getting there. All right, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so last night in the World Baseball Classic, we had Mariners teammates Randy Rosarena. He tried to shake Kyle Riley's hand when he went up to bat. Riley did not want to shake his hand as, they're on 2 opposite teams. So leaving your MLB teammate hanging in the World Baseball Classic, take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it. I like the foundation here that Raleigh's trying to take this seriously, but you play with the guy. Y'all were in the World Series last year, or you're a game away from the World Series last year. He's on your team. He's going for a quick handshake. Just dap him up and let's play some baseball.
Look quick.
We're not. This is not war here. It's the World Baseball Classic. Let's go ahead and dap somebody up and then take some swings and catch. And then you heard after Rosarena kind of ripped him in the media. Said Raleigh.
It's gonna be kind of weird.
I would imagine Raleigh would do that differently if he had to do over again. It's just not that big a deal to dap up your current teammate, who you would. Everyone out there understands that's the situation
we still have
here.
A team to go to once it's all over.
Come on now, it's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird when they do get back together.
Yeah.
So Baylor was eliminated from the Big 12 tournament earlier today, and if you remember, they picked up the former G League center James Najee.
Yeah.
And since joining the team, Baylor went 7-15.
Okay.
Since him joining the team. So are G League dropouts not impacting the game? Take it or leave it.
Guess I'll have to take that.
I'll take it.
Have to take that.
Got to, man.
Gambler's Paradise Conference Tournament Week. There's more games in the Conference Tournament Week than there are in the NCAA tournament. So
that's what Jimmy's doing.
Oh yeah, you know that. I miss the old Big East tournament when I was in college. Appointment viewing.
Always, man.
because the first day was like DePaul and Seton Hall and like some of the ones that weren't very good. But then you got to when the old days it was UConn, it was Syracuse, it was Georgetown, it was
loaded.
It was awesome. Villanova and St. John's.
Was in there?
Providence was in there. They were kind of the early teams at DePaul. And but I mean, it was just heavyweight. I mean, Kemba Walker, it was heavyweight stuff. That was awesome. But no longer. That's it for us. Going to be a sports trivia tonight. Matt's going to drive you home on AFR.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Really short drive. Told y'all last weekend, well, 2 weekends ago, I guess now. My wife and I were up in St. Francisville. If you're in Baton Rouge, it really is a quick drive. Not to mention if you're in Baker, Zachary, up there, Scotlandville, of course, over in Point Capee Parish, either the Felicianas. Quick drive over to St. Francisville for amazing deals. If you're looking for a truck, this is the spot. The Chevy Silverado is up to $11,000 off MSRP, 1.9% APR financing. If you're looking for a GMC Sierra, up to $13,000 off MSRP. These are real savings at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You can start your buying process online at fabrychevrolet.com, but go by and see them. Go see the Fabry family. They've been at this for 35 years. You get a great customer experience, a great buying experience, and service after the sale as well. Fabry Chevrolet GMC, again, that entire inventory is online. Go by and see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville or fabrychevrolet.com.